What if the Bible spoke of gods it never wanted us to recognize? What if hidden in its pages, beneath veils of translation and metaphor, was the shadow of an ancient power? A god from Egypt. A god of chaos. A god so feared that his name was erased, but his presence never forgotten. Tonight, we follow the trail of scripture, myth, and prophecy to uncover the Egyptian god the Bible secretly mentions. Before the Bible, before the prophets, before Israel, there was Egypt. The empire of the Nile. The kingdom of gods. Every day, the Egyptians worshipped the rising of Ra, the sun god, sailing his golden bark across the heavens. But as the sun set, terror began. Because in the darkness waited Apophis, the serpent of endless night. They called him the enemy of creation, the great coil of chaos that sought to swallow the sun. Every sunrise was not a miracle, it was a battle. Priests rose at midnight, chanting spells to keep the serpent bound. Pharaohs invoked Ra's triumph against the beast. Yet, no matter how many times he was defeated, Apophis always returned. Egypt lived in constant fear that one day the serpent would not be stopped, and night would never end. Now, centuries later, open the Hebrew Bible. And there, in the book of Isaiah, you find these words. On that day, the Lord will punish Leviathan, the fleeing serpent, with his great sword, and he will slay the dragon that is in the sea. Leviathan. A serpent of chaos. A dragon in the deep. To Hebrew ears, this was no ordinary creature. Leviathan was the same terror Egypt once feared, only given a new name. Scholars have long debated. Was Leviathan simply a poetic image of the sea? Or was it something darker, an ancient god carried over from Egypt into Israel's scriptures? Compare the descriptions. Apophis, the serpent of chaos, enemy of order. Leviathan, the twisting serpent, enemy of God. In Psalm 74, we read, "You crushed the heads of Leviathan, and gave him as food to the creatures of the desert." In Egyptian texts, Ra hacked Apophis into pieces and scattered his body to the winds. Different cultures. Same story. The same god of chaos, lurking in different disguises. Why hide it? But here's the question. If Leviathan truly was Apophis, why hide the connection? The answer may lie in power. For Israel to rise, it had to show Yahweh as the supreme God, greater than Egypt's mightiest forces. By renaming Apophis as Leviathan, the Bible reframed the story. Not Ra against Apophis, but Yahweh against chaos itself. It wasn't enough to defeat Egypt's armies. Israel's God had to defeat Egypt's gods. The forbidden god. So perhaps the Bible does mention an Egyptian god. Not openly. Not with honor. But with terror. Apophis, disguised as Leviathan, stands as the enemy of creation, the shadow beneath Scripture. The god that must never win. And the prophecy remains. That at the end of days, God will rise once more with his great sword. And the serpent, whether you call him Leviathan, Lawton, or Apophis, will be slain forever. So the next time you hear the Bible's words of Leviathan, remember. You are not only reading Hebrew poetry. You are hearing Egypt's oldest nightmare. A serpent older than Moses. A god older than Scripture. A shadow that passed from Nile to Bible. And waits, still, in the deep. Because myths never die. They change their names. And the question is not whether Apophis still lives, but whether one night, when the sun sets, he will rise again.